You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, it is time for Ava Jerome's criminal trial, and I fully expect it to get really nasty with Ric delivering major shockers in court. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's talk about this court case that is probably not going to work out well for people hoping to see Ava behind bars. I just don't think karma is going to deliver what a lot of these people are hoping to see in Port Charles. So before we get into it, if you're not following us, please click subscribe. And let's take this back to August real quick. Kristina went to Ava's hotel room to argue about the subpoena, which Molly told her, don't do it. But she went and she did it. And despite the fact that Kristina got hurt, and so did the baby, of course, everybody who watched that episode knows Ava did not push her out that window. Kristina tripped over Kate's luggage, and then Ava moved the luggage and tossed a pair of shoes there. So definitely one thing she's guilty of is tampering with evidence. I will agree with that. But Anna arrested Ava, and the DA charged her with assault, attempted murder, and manslaughter. And I just don't see how all that's going to fly. That's a lot of overcharging, but it's down to Kristina lying to the cops to cover up her own guilt. Ric promised Ava they're going to win, and I tend to agree because Ric Lansing is a scary good lawyer, but we'll see how it works out. If GH does this trial correctly, the assistant DA prosecuting the case should be some rando that, just some extra or something, because Molly is a witness and a sister to the victim, so she can't try the case. And of course, Robert's out of town with Holly. So let's talk about the bombshell 5 shockers I think Ric's going to make happen to get Ava off on these charges. So the first one, Jocelyn Jacks is going to take the stand for the prosecution, and I fully think that she might lie. She might actually say she saw Ava push her out the window, push Kristina out the window. But the thing is, nobody down at the pool was looking up until Kristina came crashing out the window and falling and screaming. Like, I think Kristina was fully halfway down before anybody looked up. And Ava was several feet back from the window. I'm going to show you that video again here and just to refresh your memory in case you were thinking, that Ava gave her some kind of linebacker shove. It just didn't happen that way.
Don't threaten to touch me!
Joss did CPR on Kristina, got her out of the water onto the board. She can absolutely testify to seeing her hit the water, doing the medical stuff she did. And Joss can say that Ava looked down, looked shocked, closed the curtains. All that's true. Anything else that Jocelyn might add, like saying she saw her push her, would absolutely be a lie. But Joss and Kristina were talking this week about using this trial to get revenge for Morgan, which that's 2 different issues. But because of that, I could see Joss exaggerating, outright lying on the stand. I mean, I could see it. So Trina then might be called for the prosecution or the defense since she was right there. But there's no way that Trina would lie, or say Ava did these things because she didn't. It just didn't happen. And Trina would tell the truth. And of course, that would make Joss look bad if she lied and Trina telling the truth contradicted her. Trina might not be on the witness list right now, but if Joss lies, Ava would probably tell Ric, okay, Trina was literally standing right there with her, and they might bring Trina in to prove Joss is lying under oath. And that would be very shocking. And it would also be a real test of Trina and Jocelyn's friendship, because there's no way that Trina would let Joss get away with lying like that. The second thing is down to Kristina herself. I think she's going to be provoked on the stand relatively easily. Ric already got her to blow up at him at that restaurant, slap a glass out of his hand. I think it cut his lip. He may have witnesses from the restaurant to testify to her being out of control. I'm wondering if Ric's going to get Kristina to use the name Adela instead of Irene about the baby and provoke her on that point. And, ask her about her plan to keep her sister's baby when she was only the surrogate. I imagine Ric's going to ask her why she went to Ava's to start with, why she was sent a subpoena, what she was asked to testify about. And if Kristina tries to lie, I'm guessing Ric is going to bring up that he can put Dex on the stand if she doesn't want to come clean about the fact she saw her dad beating Dex. No matter how well Alexis prepares her, I can't see Kristina doing anything but losing it on the stand. Ric knows exactly where to poke and prod. And when it comes down to the shocker, I just think it's going to be shocking how long it's going to be or how short it's going to be until she loses it, and whether he can get her to do something completely crazy like threaten Ava, hit him, throw something at him. I can't see it not being shocking. All right. The third thing, Molly's not very happy that she's being put on the stand for the defense. She's already told Alexis, who is very angry, and it's open season for Ric to ask his daughter about the subpoena and, what she told Kristina about the subpoena and, what Kristina said before she went to Ava's room. He can also ask about the surrogacy, that showdown at the cemetery, the legal forms she found about Kristina planning to steal Molly's baby. And the thing is, before the trial begins on this Friday, Kristina tells Molly that she needs to say whatever she has to convict Ava. But we all know Molly's not going to lie. She's just not. And when she tells the truth, I think Kristina is going to be furious. Molly and Kristina are only getting along right now because they're both grieving Sam. Their truce is very fragile, and Ric knows it. And he pretty much has Molly almost convinced, like 90% convinced, I think, that it was just a tragic accident. And this trial may push her to see it clearly, and she may turn on Kristina in court, shocking everybody. The fourth thing is, once Molly testifies, which of course will anger Kristina, and Kristina should testify first. If you don't know the order of trials, the prosecution goes first and then the defense. So Kristina should be on the stand first, and then Molly. And then Ric can put Kristina back on the stand to follow up and ask questions about her testimony. Okay. So after Molly testifies, which of course he knows Kristina will be angry, Ric can turn around and bring Kristina back for follow-up questions, knowing that she's probably hanging on by a thread. If he didn't get her to blow up the first time, he can bring her back and provoke her, to try and get her to admit that Ava didn't push her and that she made it up to cover up for her own guilt. I think, whether it's the first time on the stand, the second time on the stand, or both times on the stand, I absolutely think we're going to get a full-on Kristina nuclear meltdown. If you remember the scene at the hospital, Kristina was alone in the room after she came out of surgery and everything, and Kristina was talking herself into believing that Ava pushed her when she knew it wasn't true. And I think Ric is going to basically unravel Kristina's self-gaslighting and get her to admit she hates Ava and that she wants her in prison for killing Morgan and bringing up Connie. I think he's going to get her to admit that there's all these other reasons, and that has nothing to do with these other actions from back in August, simply because Kristina can't face that her bad decisions put her in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then an accident happened that resulted in baby Irene's death. And I'm sure Ric is going to push that Irene Adela button over and over again, a baby that she fully planned to steal from her sister Molly and her husband TJ. The fifth and final thing, the biggest shocker that may come out of this, though, could be Ric putting the chief of police on the stand. I would love to see this happen. I'm not sure it will. I think this would be the easiest way for Ric to get the photos tossed out on the case. Put Kristina on the stand, ask her why she was subpoenaed in the custody case, prod her about Dex. Then put Anna on the stand, ask her about the photos and where she got them. Anna will have to say she got them from Jason, who got them from Sonny. And then Ric asked Anna if she knew Dex was beaten. She'll have to admit she has a police report on that incident against Sonny. And then Ric can ask Anna why she hasn't followed up, why he hasn't been charged or prosecuted. And then Ric can ask if she has other reports on Sonny for acts of violence she has not prosecuted yet, which she does, like Cyrus's beating. Not that I feel sorry for Cyrus, but Ric can ask her why Anna is accepting evidence provided by the local mob boss while she's sitting on reports and refusing to prosecute against him, basically calling her ethics into question and implying that Anna is bringing these charges because she's in the pocket of the local mobster. I mean, I know she's not, but all these things together look like it. Ric actually has a lot to play with in this case, and we all know he's willing to fight dirty. He hates Sonny with a purple passion, and he can absolutely drag Anna through the mud on this because she should have prosecuted Sonny for beating Dex and for beating Cyrus. And again, if she had, that actually would have stopped the subpoena that was served on Kristina that led to this mess. So Anna kind of had a hand in the chain of events that led to this terrible tragedy, if you think about it. It is a very soapy mess, but at the end of the day, lover or hater, I just don't think that Ava's going to get convicted and be shipped off to prison. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. Ric's good at what he does, and it's obviously much more dramatic for Ava to walk out of court a free woman and then have Kristina and Alexis and Joss and Sonny and Jason and everybody furious and looking for revenge outside of legal challenges.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.